Championship television.
This season's plot continues to twist and turn, leaving audiences anxious for the final act. For Buckeye fans, the play unfolding in front of them has an all-too-familiar theme. Undefeated heading into the season's final month. Will this be the sequel to their 68 national title run or another tragic ending? NC State was one of the sleeper hits of the year before stumbling last week. Still, they control their own destiny for a BCS berth. Maryland, of course, has its own version of how that script should read. In today's second act, Penn State's cast of offensive stars continues their revival against a critically acclaimed Virginia team. Washington State has achieved their highest ranking ever, but those rave reviews don't impress the Ducks. Also, the undefeated Sooners are again a smash hit, but now they must perform in front of Texas A&M's 12th man. Plus, Florida State hopes to avoid becoming a box office bomb by missing out on a BCS invitation for the second straight year. Unfurl the curtains. The show is about to begin. Welcome to the ABC College Football Speed Pass update from Broadway, but no phantoms allowed, no beauties, but plenty of beasts here over the final few weeks of the college football season. I'm John Saunders. My partner, Terry Bowden, still a little bit under the weather. We expect Terry back next week. Get well, partner. All right, the top three teams in the BCS standings all remain unbeaten, all with tough tests today. Oklahoma, of course, against Texas A&M. Some of you will see that here on ABC at 3:30 Eastern Time. Number 2, Ohio State has Purdue. Number 3, Miami is at Tennessee. Now, everyone who's screaming, how can Miami be number 3? Just wait. If things play out, if both teams win the remaining games, Miami, because of strength of schedule, will pass the Ohio State Buckeyes. We, of course, will be here all day long with scores and highlights. Your game is coming up in just a bit. Enjoy it.
This ABC College Football Update brought to you by Speed Pass, today's way to pay at Exxon and Mobil retailers. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
A home underdog with a chance to make a statement, but it will not be easy for the Purdue Boilermakers. They take on the high-flying Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are not only stocking a Big Ten championship, but the stakes are soaring this week. The Buckeyes have jumped Miami. They are now number 2 in the BCS standings. A chance to make it to the national title game. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musberger, along with the old quarterback from Purdue, Gary Danielson. But, Gary, we're talking about Ohio State. They got to be feeling the heat now, my friend.
They really are. You know, since 1968, all Buckeye fans know they've been in position to do this before late in the season, and the pressure now starts to mount. I mean, every play, every alignment, every pass, every time you touch the ball, it could be the one that determines it. It's like Sunday at Augusta. The pressure's on.
Now, how about the 2 quarterbacks here at your alma mater?
Joe Tiller will use 2. Kyle Orton will go back. He's the thrower, but Brandon Kirsch, the freshman, started against Michigan. He's the guy that gives him some feet in this equation. Tiller will dial both.
So Joe Tiller, who has done a fine job here at Purdue, matching wits against Jim Tressel to the Buckeyes. The kickoff is next. Ohio State to kick it off with that stiff breeze at their back. Notice the wind direction. It's going to play a factor before this game is over. It gusts up to 25 miles an hour. The ball is on the tee, and Purdue will have it for the first time here. Mike Nugent, perfect this season as far as field goals are concerned. Chambers back deep for the Boilermakers, and with that wind, Nugent drives it completely out of the end zone. Now we'll meet our Nibia starting lineups for the Boilermakers, and we've got to talk about their running back, Joey Harris, the junior from Texas. He's had 5 100-yard rushing games. They must control the clock somewhat, even though this is a wide open, spread the field passing attack. Keep an eye on number 25. The veteran quarterback, number 18. Kyle Orton steps up under center. Brandon Kirsch, even though he broke a bone in his throwing hand, is ready to play. They complete the first pass underneath to John Standiford, their number 1 receiver. receiver. Let us quickly check in on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Here's John Saunders.
Brent, as you know, Iowa's still in the hunt for that national championship. Perhaps if somebody loses ahead of them, Big Ten championship also likely. Jamel Lewis takes this one in from 7 yards. That after a failed onside kick by your team, Brent. Northwestern down 7-0.
All right, there is the story from Iowa. We had a penalty, a personal foul on the kickoff return, and that's going to give the Boilermakers a short field to work with here, Gary.
No, it was on the first play, Brent. Michael Doss came on, hit late the receiver on the field just to the sideline. Doss got the big hit. It was a bubble screen on first down, and we'll see a lot of those to the field.
Exactly. The ball is brought out to the 46-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Now they go to 5. They empty the backfield. It'll be second down and 10. Now our Nivea starting lineup for Purdue. Orton draws the start. John Standiford caught that bubble screen, number 82. He's their leading wide receiver. And the key to this offense will be this offensive line. They must keep both Orton and Kirsch clean of the defensive line of Ohio State, which is amongst the best in college football. Will Smith continues to stand up. They have 3 down linemen, the Buckeyes. You can see him move into a gap, and a penalty flag comes flying.
This Ohio State defense has so much of flexibility because of C. Grant, who played corner a year ago, and he's lined up at linebacker now, means that Ohio State doesn't have to go as much nickel and dime.
And there are the athletes, and you could see number 93 standing up and walking into a gap for the Bucks. And we've already had 1 bubble screen thrown to the right of the offense. And of course, these defensive backs have to be ready because they must run and cover here today. Allen, the nickelback, will be used extensively by the Ohio State defense. Again, 3 down linemen. And it is complete just short of midfield. That is Taylor Stubblefield, the sophomore from Yakima, Washington. Dustin Fox, the boundary corner, and perhaps the most underrated member of this Ohio State defense there, number 37. He's a young man who has finally convinced himself that he is a corner, and he is starting to play well for Ohio State.
Well, Chris Gamble has helped one side of the field at corner, field corner, but he's also helped Fox. Made it easier for him to be that boundary corner.
3rd and 7, and a defensive back gets ready now. They're about 6 yards off the line of scrimmage on Ohio State. And right at the first down marker is Anthony Chambers, the junior from Texas, number 4.
You see the game plan evolving for Purdue. They're going to throw the ball a lot. They don't believe they can run it inside. Bubble screens to the wide side of the field and hitches to the short side of the field. That's the game plan early. Force Ohio State to make an adjustment and then start to throw the ball down the middle.
The ball on the 44-yard line. First down for Purdue. Joey Harris, the lone running back, behind Orton. Orton to throw it. Complete. First down. Mike Reinhardt, the sophomore tight end. Now we are watching Orton start. We will see Brandon Kirsch, and here is Coach Joe Tiller on his 2 quarterbacks. Second down and 1. Let me apologize for the audio problem. We'll get that corrected. Second down and 1. Toss, stretch, bangs for the first down. In hot pursuit with Robert Reynolds, who could not cut it off as they stretched the defense and went with Joey Harris.
Again, you see the Purdue offense doesn't believe they can take it right at Ohio State. Remember the game and defense that Ohio State had against Minnesota, a very strong running team. Even on short yardage situations, they go on balance line with two tight ends to the right side and run the ball wide.
A very impressive opening drive, wouldn't you say, Gary?
Yeah, Orton's hot. If he stays hot, might be tough to change quarterbacks.
Now Orton getting a chance after Kirsch broke a hand in a fraternity incident. He picks up a yard. Harris does. Let's talk about Kirsch. They had a party at a fraternity. He threw a punch and he broke a bone in his throwing hand. It is heavily taped. He's number 11 over there, and it is the right hand. He was throwing the signal out. He will have a splint on it. We watched him throw in the pregame warm-ups. He seemed okay. But anytime you're a starting quarterback and you give a backup who has been the starter an opportunity, believe me, Kyle Orton is trying to make the most of it right here. And he's driving Purdue with the opening drive of the game. It is 2nd down and 8. Pocket held, complete inside the 20-yard line. Stubblefield.
When you talk to the Purdue coaches, and we talked to Jim Chaney, their offensive coordinator, he said, guys, this is what this offense was built for. We grew this offense at Washington State. We grew this offense at Wyoming. You can see how successful they are this year. Even though they're not winning, they're still successful moving the ball. Inferior athletes against a better team spread the field and go one-on-one. They believe this is how it was built, and this is what they got. Purdue never throws to this wide guy, and that's who Gamble is matched against. Take him right out of the game.
Before the play, the whistle. They stopped the play. Dennis Lipsky's our referee.
Delay of game. Offense.
He's got a great view of the 25-second clock. Orton should not make that mistake. It is right of the upright, and Tiller's got to be upset about this. You have to see the 25-second clock. It is a perfect vantage point for a quarterback here at Purdue. You can't get a better setup. I remember coming in here watching Drew Brees take it down when he was nursing a lead right inside 5 seconds, and he told us once how well positioned the 25-second clock was. In some stadiums it's hidden, but not here. 5 wideouts.
Got the hitch again to the bottom.
There it is, to the 15-yard line. Standiford. Well, the third member of our crew is Jack Arute.
But Brent, you talk about the play of Kyle Orton like that miscue with running the clock out. Well, those are the things that the coaches worked on with him throughout the course of the bye week. They said one of the things they wanted Kyle Orton to do was be more comfortable in terms of game management. They worked over and over on a basic game plan, figuring that repetition would make him more comfortable underneath center. He's going to have to get those jitters out of his system.
And he could right here, Jack, facing a 2nd and 7. The ball is at the Buckeye 15. And now it is 3rd and 7. And we send you back to New York for an Iowa update.
Brent, you may be coming back to New York for a lot of Iowa updates today. Brad Banks, 40 yards to Maurice Brown. Banks putting on a late push for the Heisman here. Great catch. And right now, 14-0, Iowa leads Northwestern.
That will be a blowout, folks. 3rd down and 7. Now Orton positioning Chambers.
Yeah,
and got to hurry now. He's got down inside of 5 seconds. And intercepted in the corner. Picked off by Dustin Fox.
I tell you, he misread it all the way, Kyle Orton did on that one, Brent. Thought he had man-to-man coverage, checked into the corner route, and did not pick up that corner who dropped into the area. Here's Fox, man-to-man here, but he reads the eyes and drops on the play. Just reads the eyes of the quarterback. Big mistake by Kyle Orton, cost him a chance for a field goal.
Terrific work by Fox. Watch him get 1 foot down. Splendid interception. Timeout. Get excited, Columbus. Maurice Clarett is back. The 8th true freshman. Division 1A history to rush for 1,000+ yards. Missed last week's game against Minnesota because of that injured nerve in his left shoulder. Cleared to go by the doctors. Taped on the left shoulder. Set up behind the fullback. The freshman from Youngstown, Ohio. Play action. And caught by Michael Jenkins for a first down at the 39-yard line as we check in on our Nivea starting lineup. Chris Vance will not play. He's attending the funeral of his brother back home, and he will be missed by these Buckeyes here today. Craig Krenzel, the quarterback. And here's your big horses up front. Shane Olivier, he returned after missing a game a couple of weeks ago. They average better than 300 pounds in the middle. And Clarett tries to cut to daylight, a little bit tentative. And so Kudavides steps in and makes the stop. Craig Terrell is hurting, and he will be missed in the middle of that defensive line. And here's the young man who just made the tackle, a little bit undersized. His nickname, Mr. Mean from Connecticut. That's how tough he is. Two outstanding safeties, Schweigert and Turner. Childress in as a wide receiver, and here comes Clarett. Clarett short of the first down. Let's take you back, because we have been there a couple of times when Clarett has been forced to leave. This is against Washington State. He was cramping up. He also had a knee injury. He missed the next week. Then against Penn State, the left shoulder driven down into the ground, and he missed last week's game against Minnesota. But now he is out on the field with this lineup, and here comes the third down.
I was talking to Jim Lachey, the color man for Ohio State. He said they talked Clarett into wearing an extra pad on his left side. He has resisted that in the past, but you can see he's padded up more today.
Needing 2 for the first down. Krenzel changes it up right now, and timeout. As the clock was running down, they save a 5-yard penalty. We've got a timeout. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Zocor, talk to your doctor about Zocor today. And the people of Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. University Hall here in West Lafayette, the oldest building on campus. That's adjacent to John Purdue's gravesite, who was the founder of Purdue. Gary Danielson had to memorize that when he was here as a freshman.
A lot of time studying right there.
Third down and 2 for the Bucks. And they jumped Clarett, who did not get it. Ralph Turner and Kevin Nesfield with the stop for Purdue. The Buckeyes will be punting as we go to New York for an update.
Brent, a week ago, NC State thought they were part of the equation for a national championship. Now just trying to win the ACC against Maryland. Phillip Rivers, 32 yards to Jericho Cotchery. Rivers, one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now. A 7-0 lead. Brent.
Hottest team in the ACC. Tough game, figures to be close. Andy Groom with the wind at his back. It still goes on into the end zone. 52 yards, and he just tried to pooch.
He absolutely did. He tried to pooch it.
Well, coming up the second half of our doubleheader, most of you are going to see Virginia battle number 19 Penn State, or number 2 Oklahoma against Texas A&M, plus other regional action. That's next right here on ABC Sports. The class of college football. Hey, Gary grades the nation's top quarterbacks each week at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. He's going to take Dave Ragone off the top of that list one of these days.
Go back and read my Chris Sims report. It's coming completely
let's
true.
Upgrade him now.
No, I was right.
Brandon Jones, a redshirt freshman. Cuts for about 3 yards. Anderson with the stop.
Let's take a look what Purdue's going to try to do in this football game. When they spread the field, that's when they'll try to attack them with the run. When they throw it, they're going to do quick throws. They don't like their matchups up front, and they're going to try to force Gamble to make some tackles. He made 6 last week, but with the bubble screen to the wide side of the field, they're going to force Chris Gamble to try to come up and make some plays defensively. At least it might slow him down on offense. spot is this guy. Wilhelm's so quick on the bubble screen. Watch him how quick he is.
Sanders, first down.
There's that bubble screen to the wide side of the field, and Chris Campbell is not used to this type of a game plan. Remember, when they played Texas Tech and Washington State early in the year, when this defense gained experience with the spread, he wasn't playing, and they're going to force Campbell to get used to that bubble screen out wide.
Kyle Orton checks the play on the wrist.
Again, Campbell
Looks at the defense.
Watched out wide against a guy that doesn't catch a ball much. Purdue doesn't throw to him.
Red hot with the pass, this Brandon Jones. Jones, the redshirt freshman. Our Packed Life game summary. And Kyle Orton is 8 of 11 for 73 yards, but this interception by Fox, the single biggest play of the game so far, as Purdue threatened with its first drive of the game. Now it is second down, and Purdue needs only a yard. They'll try to run for it, and they're not going to get there. There is that tremendous front of the Buckeyes. Tim Anderson, the junior from Clyde, Ohio. Jackaroo.
Brent, just moments ago, number 13, Maurice Clarett for the Buckeyes, went by me. He's headed to the visitors' locker room. They're going to work on him. I'm going to go check on it and get back to you.
All right, and that means that number 30, Lydell Ross, the sophomore from Tampa, undoubtedly will be the running back in the next series. So Ohio State still uneasy about the physical condition of Clarett, who tried to give it a go here today. Just short of the first down of Jones, and here comes Clarett dashing back on the field, Jack.
Randy had to just get a pain shot. He was still feeling some pain. He went up, got shot up. He says, I'm ready, Jack. I'm going back in the game.
He is a gamer, isn't he,
He really
Gary?
is. He absolutely is. He wanted to play last week. He's had a tough time, you know, just kind of dealing with this whole thing. He visualizes himself as the leader of this football team, and he doesn't want to be on the sidelines. Purdue tried to go wide on both those short yardage plays and could not pick it up the speed of that Ohio State
Now punting
defense.
has really troubled Purdue. This time against the breeze, Slayton drives it beautifully. Can they knock it down inside the 10? They do. A tremendous punt that time by Brent Slayton. A 49-yarder. Good job. We've got a timeout. Figured Lydell Ross will get a series. He scored a couple of touchdowns last week against Minnesota, and he is in there with a painful toe that he's hoping holds up here today. Now it is first down, and the front for Purdue, and that was Kudabides, the junior from Plainville, Connecticut, with another stop. Let's take a look now at our Chrysler passing playbook, Gary.
Well, when you're at Ohio State and you run the tailback, you must affect those linebackers or you won't be able to run it. And the way you do it is the old play-action pass. Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, fake it to your tailback and set the stage early like Ohio State is, that you will throw out of the same formation you run the ball. That's Ohio State gave a message to the Boilers that they'll do both.
Second down and 9. The 21-yard line is Gamble. And we check in with New York again.
Brent, Iowa had that 14-0 lead, but Northwestern fighting back. Brett Bazinet, 9 yards to Ashton Akins. Touchdown, and now it's a 14-7 game as Iowa's looking to march on, perhaps to the BCS.
And here we are scoreless. Ohio State unbeaten. First down and 10 at the 21-yard line. There's the play fake. Krenzel with lots of time. sends it downfield, and he overthrew Michael Jenkins.
Yeah, did a good job of taking care of the ball, which Krenzel does. When you're on offense for Ohio State, you must do that because of a great defense. Ohio State runs the ball north-south, not wide, but they like to spread the defense by throwing it east-west to their wideouts and spread them out. Patience, though, just like that pass by Krenzel. If it's not there, run another down and let the defense and your special teams, great kicking and punting, win the game for you.
Childress, number 3, goes out to the right side of the Ohio State formation. Second down. Ross slanting to the 25. This will make it 3rd and 6. Landon Johnson, the junior from Texas, with the stop. We were told by not just the Purdue coaches, but the Ohio State coaches, that the most underrated unit of the Big Ten might be the Purdue defense. Remember, they have had one tough loss after another. Tressel knows how difficult it is to move the ball against this defense. Third down, over the middle for the first down to Hartsock, the tight end. Hartsock, one of the better tight ends this year in the Big Ten. He's been a difference maker, Gary, for
he really
this
has
team.
A great blocker and an average receiver, but that's all you have to do with this type of guy. He excels not only on the football field, majored in biology, obviously, but Hartsock gives you so many weapons in the type of offense that Ohio State runs. Just that little check down from the tight end is what he needs to bring, and he gave it to him.
And he's become a bit of a spokesman, a rally guy for the Buckeyes. Krenzel goes back now, wants his wide receiver incomplete. So it'll be second down now. And speaking of Hartsock, let's ask Ben about being the spokesman for the offense.
I guess I must have politics in my blood.
And so he must have enjoyed last Tuesday night.
And on all the cable channels, watching everything going. Real nice play that time, Brent, by Antoine Rogers that time. Number 12, the corner from Purdue, getting to the outside of that throw and knocking it down.
2nd and 10 for Krenzel and the Bucks.
Here comes the safety up right there.
The slash to the side. Ross, the running back, out of bounds at the 40-yard line. This will make it about 3rd and 3. Coming up, and tomorrow, don't miss round 2 of the ISU Grand Prix Series of figure skating. Crucial championship points will be on the line with the USA Sasha Cohen and Jenny Kirk take to the ice. Skate Canada tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ABC Championship Television.
I like the new scoring system in the skating now. Do you like it now, Brent?
Oh, I love it.
Anonymity there. You don't know who's cheating you.
Can you bet on it? 3rd down. Ross, the running back, 3 wide. High ricochet intercepted at the 44-yard line. Kudovides, the middle linebacker, with the ricochet interception, and Purdue is in business.
Kudovides might have said, thanks, Antoine Rogers, his 2nd pass deflection of the game. Number 12, the corner, beat the wide receiver to the spot. Bump and run to the outside. Krenzel throws the slant. Look at number 12. Beat the young Bam Childress to the spot. Watch him beat Bam Childress to the spot here. Deflect the high pass, and Kudovides just gobbles it up. The former, Brent, you said Mr. Mean. He was a high school quarterback. Kudovides, a high school quarterback. You can't be Mr. Mean as a high school quarterback.
That's why he's been switched to middle linebacker, folks. 5 wide Boilermakers. Coming back to the middle, and at the 17-yard line, that's Standiford again, the junior from Indiana, and the go-to guy. 3 catches for 24 yards. And Jack, you live back there in Kudovides' neighborhood.
Oh yeah, Plainville, Connecticut. They build them small, but they build them tough. In fact, it was on the streets of Plainville that Nico got the nickname Mr. Mean. Why? Because they didn't play football tackle style in a playground. They played it out in the streets. Nico says today's an important day for him because he knows the folks at home are watching.
All those Greeks are lined up watching Nico. And the offense for Purdue has a first and goal. Taylor Stubblefield.
Here's the matchups that the 5 wide receivers do. Stubblefield on this play is matched up against Ohio State's middle linebacker, Matt Wilhelm. When you see that as a quarterback, you say, I'll take that matchup. Wide receiver against a linebacker and throw the ball.
Purdue continues to spread the field. Norton threw that one interception in the end zone. This is their second chance to score. Backfield is empty. Stubblefield comes over to a wing position, and he blocks for him. Norton fires this one out of bounds. Did not want to risk an interception. Doss, the defender on that side.
Kyle Orton being able to not make the same mistake he made the time before, checking off and doing it. But you see Purdue getting into the red zone has been a problem. The reason they're 8th in the Big Ten is they made 1 out of their last 9 field goals. 2 field goals in the Big Ten. That won't get it done.
They put a fullback in for Harris. Running play, looks for a hole to the 4-yard line. Wilhelm, one of the defenders there, on the stop. Now it's 3rd down and goal against this Buckeye defense.
I think now if you had Kirsch in the football game or a Drew Brees, a quarterback that could give you a little bit of that quarterback draw, you might see it. I don't know if Kyle Orton can get it done.
The Buckeyes down here inside the 5 stick with 3 down linemen.
Yeah, but
then you would want to run on this.
They're coming.
They know that Orton's stationary target fired behind, incomplete. As the receiver, number 21 Stubblefield, was reaching for that pass, and that makes it 4th and goal. And so the field goal unit trots onto the field, and some of the fans a little bit unhappy about this. This is a good stand again by the Buckeye defense. They were sure that Orton was going to throw it, and they had a pass defense on the field. So here is Lushevic, the junior from Kansas, and nothing is a gimme against this Breeze and with this Purdue kicking game this year. That was a good-looking field goal. Lushevic puts the Boilermakers ahead by 3, but Ohio State has to feel very good about this. Purdue has threatened twice, and they've scored only 3 points. Let's send you to New York now, and John Saunders.
Brent, Notre Dame trying to bounce back from that loss to Boston College, and 1-win Navy, their opponent today. Aaron Polanco keeps it on the option and scores. And Notre Dame is struggling right now. It's very early, but down 7-2. Brent.
That would be the shock of the year, John, if the Naval Academy holds up against the Fighting Irish. And here, Purdue, a home underdog to the unbeaten Ohio State Buckeyes, strikes first in the opening quarter, and that's worth a Duke-type celebration there.
You heard that. You hear the Purdue crowd was very aware of the field goal kicking problems of the Boilers. They gave them a Bronx cheer on that one.
Say now, alum, what do you think of these gold jerseys that your alma mater wears? You're pretty outspoken.
I love them. I think they're...
For 48 hours, he's been telling me, get the black jerseys back on. We want the black jerseys.
Well, you know how it is. You got to be loyal and public. That's all you have to do is be loyal and public.
Oh, what a shill. Okay. So the field goal is after the Krenzel interception.
Purdue's going to pooch this kick. No kick.
The short man down right there at the 30-yard line. So, Jack, what about the Purdue kicking game?
Well, Baron Lockovic is new to the United States. He came here in the 7th grade back in 1992. In fact, he was featured on news coverage back then in war-torn Bosnia. He lost both of his parents in an explosion, and his adoptive parents saw a report that saw young Baron crying about being orphaned, and they contacted Peter Jennings' office in New York City. Got a hold of some people in Bosnia, and they adopted young Baron and brought him stateside.
Nice story. So Claret is back in the game. He's the lone running back. Buckeyes trail it. There's the play fake. Prinzel going to come deep once. Gamble. He's got it. And he stepped out of bounds at the 48-yard line right after making the catch. Gary, the defensive back, really gambled and gave up 26 yards.
Well, the ball hung in the air, though, and I don't blame him for going at it. Reeves looked at the ball and said, you know, if I'm ever going to get one, this might be the one. As you look at Gamble, usually you don't see Gamble on first down. He takes a little rest, but if you're going to throw to him, you might as well go. Your play action pass, fake to Claret, ball's thrown clear across from one hash to the other, and you see Reeves say, I'm going to go for this one. And how can you blame him? You got to go on a 22-yard pass.
First down, Prinzel dropped the running back, Claret, fumbled it at the 45. And Jack, I know you were in Columbus earlier this week, and tell us about Mr. Gamble at practice.
Well, it's difficult, Brent. You know, he has to practice both on offense and now on defense. He was working with the first-team offense. They were running a fade route. The ball goes up in the air. Chris Gamble jumps up and bats it to the ground. He got a little confused for a moment, forgot he wasn't on defense, he was on offense. Good thing he got it straight that time.
Here's second down. Drew Carter in as the split in. Prinzel wants Claret, who bobbled it, and that allowed the defender, Phillips, to close in.
Purdue dropped their defensive end in a zone blitz package that time. Sean Phillips with that number 15 as a defensive end. Actually, if you look at both of Purdue's defensive ends, there's really glorified linebackers able to drop and make tackles.
The end of the opening quarter. Fox with a splendid interception. But Purdue responded to the Beatties, and that set up a field goal on our only score. Timeout.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports, Championship Television.
And with the quarterback, Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musberger. 1 point about Ohio State. Yes, they're unbeaten, but Gary, they've not played all that well on the road this year. They struggled against Cincinnati.
Well, Cincinnati, yes, a little neutral site there, right. Cincinnati, but the Wisconsin game, they really did. Wisconsin had them on the run. Jenkins had to make the big catch, and you see Purdue right here. They don't have him comfortable right yet at all.
Look at that. Just roped him. Nesfield, the junior from Houston, Texas, with the stop. This school, Purdue, is not known as spoiler makers for nothing, folks. As an underdog through the years, they have been one of the most dangerous opponents in college football. Chambers is back deep. They lead it 3-0. The Buckeyes with their hands full. Broom drives it into the breeze, and it's out of bounds. Well, it is time for our Aflac trivia question. This week's question: since 1960, which Purdue quarterback led the Boilermakers in passing with the lowest season total? Is it Bob Greasy, Mark Herman, Jim Everett, or none of the above?
How can you do that to me?
So
how come my name's not up there?
Trivia.
How can you do that
since
to
1960.
me? You're dogging me. I'm going to the Midwest
1960,
here.
folks. Think about that now. Greasy, Herman, Everett, or none of the above. All right. So we'll be back. We'll let the quarterback think about that one.
He's stewing over here. I have not seen that graphic.
I've got a pouting analyst. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
But Ken Gamble way out here, covering a receiver Purdue does not throw to. That's who they throw it, right there.
Chambers slashes to the 26-yard line. Gamble, the defender, making him make a stop.
Yep, game plan right there. Gamble, get in there, be physical. If you're going to play defense, we want to let you know that you're going to have to tackle. Make sure you got the shoulder pads on for a defensive back and not a wide receiver. Chris Gamble always goes to the wide side of the field. Dustin Fox goes to the short side of the field.
Second down. Here comes Harris. First down. Well, you know, Gary, we talked about how they acquired the nickname the Spoilermakers, and the school rates these the top 5 upsets at home against ranked opponents. They've had some dandies on the road too, but there's some memorable games there.
Absolutely. I mean, that Michigan game we did against Drew Henson when Drew Brees came from behind. How about that game when Ohio State last came here, when Drew Brees threw for 455 yards to knock off Ohio State and actually really put Purdue into the Rose Bowl that day.
First down for the Boilermakers, and Orton slides up under center. Pocket stays firm, wide open sideline. Harris, the running back, crosses the 40-yard line to the 39-yard line. Michael Doss, but it's a 30-yard gain for the Boilermakers.
Kyle Orton has really made one mistake in this football game. I have to believe that Joe Tiller is saying, Kyle, maybe that benching did you a little good here. You see Joey Harris come wide. At this time, you see inside Michael Doss bites inside. Instead of staying wide as the widest guy underneath, and his speed actually keeps that from being a much bigger player, Doss does.
And Gary, it's 143 total yards and counting, but Harris pounding into the arms of Wilhelm. Let's check in on the Hawkeyes now with John.
Back up by a couple of touchdowns. Brad Banks had a terrific year. Drops back, fakes it, goes up the middle, cuts it to the left. 9 yards of the touchdown run. And Iowa now with a 21-7 lead over Northwestern. Brent.
If both Iowa and Ohio State stay unbeaten the rest of the way, the Buckeyes will reign as the official Big Ten champions because of better overall record. Iowa lost an earlier game this season to Iowa State in Iowa City. That's your conference difference right now. Harris trying to get a lane, and he crosses the 30-yard line. Gamble, the defender, and Gamble has been sticking his nose in there pretty good, Gary.
Well, he's almost forced to. You see the game plan for Purdue. It's not run at those great linebackers from Ohio State. It's run wide to the wide side of the field and force number 7 to continue to play football. They believe they can wear him down in this football game. Remember, we had that, we have Kansas State early when a game plan like that, where they ran off their good corner all game and tried to wear him down. Very similar game plan.
1 of 4 in third down conversions.
Ohio State is blitzing.
Right at the mark is Harris.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to put him short. 4th and short.
Will Smith, number 93, makes the Buckeye play, and they'll have to bring the chains out on this one.
Will Smith is one of those athletic defensive linemen that Ohio State has right across the board, all 4 of them. Great athletes again, and Will Smith stands up and goes down, as we've been pointing out all game. Football. So, Mr. Musberger, would you go for it?
Absolutely.
I'm going to turn
You're
it on
an underdog. You bang right straight ahead. You've got nothing to lose.
Well, you've lost.
You're inside the 30-yard line. You put that other quarterback in. He's the running back, and you say, "Go get it, Mr. Kirsch." How's that for an answer?
I think they're going to run Kyle Orton, to tell you the truth. But besides that, you're 99.9% accurate on this. And the way they kick field goals, they have to go for it here.
Exactly. And you folks at home here with 4th and inches, this is the time when that yellow line really plays to your advantage. That 1st and 10 line, you can absolutely watch them bang for it. Boy, they were thrown right back. That was Boyd, the redshirt freshman from Maryland, and I believe it's being spotted right on the first down marker. Joe Tiller likes Boyd a lot, but I think he had it too.
Yes, I do. But when you run the tailback on those short yardage positions, it brings the linebackers into play, and you see how that void quickly was filled on Boyd.
You know, it is much easier for to get in behind the guard and center. It's much quicker.
Yes, if you trust your offensive linemen to push, but I don't believe that Purdue has any confidence that they can push this Ohio State defensive line around.
Yeah, there was not a big hole that time.
There
I
wasn't.
mean, he got it, but the ball was right on the yellow marker. And it is just right there by inches.
Now you'll see Purdue come back, I believe, with the 5 wide receivers. When you hand it off deep, you see that offensive line for Purdue. There's no push up there. They slide it down, and there's those linebackers. 3 of them and Doss, the safety, to meet it.
The quicker hole was right behind the center. When you looked at that replay,
he went too wide.
No
Here comes the 5 wide receivers. They like to throw to the short side of the field or the bubble screen to the wide side of the field. This guy or this guy?
Orton on the move, throwing well to the 26-yard line. Standiford. We check in on the Irish. They have their hands full with the Naval Academy, and here's John.
Yeah, they do indeed, Brent, but Carlisle Holiday organizes this drive, steps up in the pocket, gets to the line of scrimmage, but not beyond it, then rifles this pass 40 yards to Maurice Stovall, sets up a 1-yard touchdown run by Tom Lipinski, so Notre Dame now up 9-7.
Now, John Stovall, only a freshman out of the Philadelphia area, I believe, and he's got a fine future there with Notre Dame. He was good early in a couple of games against Maryland and Michigan State for us. Second down here for Purdue. Orton fires right at that first down marker again. Chambers over there. Doss the defender. So we're at the top of the hour in our Pacific Life game summary. Let's tout the Purdue defense. They have been the story here today. They stuffed Lorette. They stuff Ross. They go after and sack Frenzel. And they are shutting out the unbeaten Buckeyes right now. 3-0 on a field goal after an interception. So the story of the game, if you will, both defenses have played very well. But Purdue's perhaps a little bit better. Joey Harris is back in on this 3rd and 1. Orton to throw for it. Now it is 4th down again.
Hey, come on, baby, come on.
Had a bust on that play from the wide receiver. He ran an out and up on that play, and Kyle Orton was trying to throw him the hitch to the Ray Williams, the true freshman. Missed the checkoff or missed the play in the huddle. Purdue did not feel they could run the ball, tried to throw a quick hitch to the outside, and Ray Williams did not hear the play.
So Baron Lashovec, who represents the difference. Now the wind, remember, is at his back here. This is a 36-yarder. Now that breeze has turned around a little bit, though, as you can see on that wind graphic. No good. Well, you can second-guess Joe Tiller on that one, folks. It was 4th and a yard. A lot of folks in the stands felt, Joe, you should have gone for it. Timeout.
Let's go back to that 3rd down play. You'll see Kyle Orton's ready to throw the ball. Receiver goes a step late. I don't want to say he missed it, didn't bust it, but Orton was ready to throw the ball before Williams was ready to catch it.
Ross, the running back for the Buckeyes, to the 24-yard line. Ohio State and Iowa, the Big Ten co-leaders. Iowa running away from Northwestern now as expected. But look at what Illinois is doing to Wisconsin, a troubled Wisconsin team.
Yeah, and remember, Ohio State goes to Champaign next weekend. You know, another one of those road games in the Big Ten. So tough to run the table in any conference nowadays.
And the Buckeyes are certainly not thinking about the Illini right now. Hands full with the Boilermakers. Ross again going nowhere against this defense. Maryland and North Carolina State. Back we go to New York.
Brent, as you know, Steve Suter has 4 punt returns for touchdowns this year. That tied an NCAA record. This is not a punt return, but he's showing that return speed. Takes off 64 yards and scores, still pulling away as Maryland gets on the board. NC State still leads it 14-7.
And here Ohio State trails by a field goal, 3-0. 3rd down and 4 for the Bucks. Gamble's the motion man. Got Gamble again. What a beautiful reception by Gamble, keeping his feet in bounds as he worked the sideline. The young man going both ways today. That's an 18-yard gain.
Look at the matchup. You got to give this to the coach. Matchup here of Gamble against a linebacker, Joe Odom. The ball's thrown to the sideline, gets one toe down, and you see what Gamble can do. If you have great players, you must get them involved in college football today. You don't keep them forever, so you got to use them.
Krenzel is 7 of 11. Coming back with Claret, stretching the defense, his best run of the game. He crosses midfield.
Picks up a long run there, 9 yards. You saw him right at the end of that play, but let's go back to Chris Gamble one more time. The guy is really responsible. You saw that interception to save that Wisconsin road game. But you know what? When you look at him, to me, just a ball player. Whether he's playing baseball or tennis or basketball, this guy figures out how to get it done all over the football field. That's why he made that transition so easily to defense.
Second down and 2. And Claret is thrown for a loss. Grover is there, but Ralph Turner, the safety, came up and penetrated early in that play. Well, earlier we asked the Affleck trivia question now. Since 1960, which Purdue quarterback led the team in passing for a season with a few? He says Bob Greasy.
He says Greasy.
I say none of the above.
Yes!
It was none of the above.
Yes!
Gary Daniels said,
look at that. I did not know that. Ashley Bell catching ball. Yes.
Turning a negative to a positive. Well
Look
done,
at
my
this guy.
friend. Folks, the reason why the total was so low, he was a wishbone quarterback. Let me be honest about that. My friend could throw it, and that's why the National Football League took him in and embraced him in Cleveland and Detroit. Michael Jenkins made the catch. He did not know the Affleck. We ambushed him with old Gary Danielson footage here from his alma mater. He's a very good sport this week.
You got to know that everybody from both sides does not trust me today. Ohio State thinks I went to Purdue, and the Purdue people think I lived in Ohio. In the middle of this thing, just think what Michigan-Ohio State week's going to be like.
First down and 10. The ball at the 42-yard line as the Buckeyes penetrate Purdue territory. Finally, in the penalty flag. No, I've got a moment here as our referee gives us the call with 7:10 to go.
Practice snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty.
So let's talk about Monday night, the 500th broadcast. Don't bet against Frank Gifford and Dandy Don being there along with Alan John. It's the Raiders and the Broncos, and those Broncos have dominated since Mike Shanahan became their coach 12-2. Oh, by the way, Gary.
Thank you very much.
Here is Gary. He started on Monday night. Give me that illustrator.
Oops. Well, you know, we always played the best teams on Monday night.
Absolutely, absolutely. The marquee defenses, right, partner? First down. And there's that draw play and Claret.
I tell you, Claret is not finishing his runs like I seen him early in the year. Looks to me like when he gets right at the point of contact, he feels, I don't want to say he feels that shoulder, but he is favoring that shoulder. Jim Lachey told me, the outstanding All-American from Ohio State, who's watched practice, told me that he sprung that shoulder again this week in practice. He's got it padded up. But, hey, they're making a run for the championship, and they got to use it, right? You have to
be out there. Second down and 5. Back he comes. Steps out of bounds. And Flemings, a freshman from Denton, Texas, was pursuing him.
You know, Chris Gamble, Brent, not only is he having to catch passes and make tackles, but now he's having to block downfield. And I see him getting a little fatigued already in this football game. Part of that game plan for Purdue is to run the ball at him, throw the ball at him, and Ohio State, without Chris Vance, is forced to use him on offense maybe a little more than they want to in this game.
Now the Buckeyes with a 3rd and 1, and they give Claret a fullback and a H-back, a power formation. And Collette just sort of stutter stepped as Schweiger, number 9, the All-American from Saginaw, Michigan, moves up and makes the key stop on Clarett.
Yeah, that looked different, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I gotta say it looked different.
He just didn't pound the hole like we saw earlier this season.
Schweiger, right? Stuart Schweiger right there. Now watch him try to bounce outside, which is the game plan by Brock Spack. He said our game plan against Maurice Clarett is to spill. Now what spill means is for like a glass of water, spill. Force it to the outside and just trickle to the outside. His shoulders east and west and make the tackle.
An old friend of Ohio State, Seth Morales, is back to field Groom's punt. A couple years ago here, he caught that pass thrown by Drew Brees. So they might even want to take one here and back Groom up 5 yards. If I was
game, offense.
Well, at the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Brett, you know what my strategy for Purdue would be here, or any team really? On this pooch situation, I would put 2 receivers back there. They're going to pooch it and try to fair catch it. Why allow the punter to pooch the ball and let it roll inside the 10-yard line?
Well, they did that earlier, Gary, but I think when you're down around the 10-yard line, and it's very dangerous down there, a lot of coaches prefer to go with their best man back there in terms of judgment, and they don't want that second body back there in case a ball bounces around and hits somebody in the leg. Purdue
Engineering school. We got to have 2 guys who can figure this out. Come on.
It's gone.
Now here's Morales. He'll make the fair catch. He'll step up sure-handed right there. So Mr. Danielson
worked
from an engineering. That's why you use 1. Okay, timeout. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Marriott, wherever business takes you, your Marriott awaits. And the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. Speaking of engineering here, Mr. Danielson, there is Engineering Fountain, and that's the centerpiece of Engineering Mall here at your alma mater. 1st and 10 for Purdue. They lead it by a field goal. Gamble still on the field. He's played every snap defensively. He also has 4 tackles on that incompletion. So Chris Gamble was asked by Jack Arute in Columbus to talk about tackling.
Everybody know I can intercept the ball, so I just wanted to make a statement that I can come up and tackle. Because, you know, everybody said I was Deion, and, you know, Deion ain't really like to tackle, so I wanted to show everybody I can come up and tackle.
A slam against Deion Sanders. So again, he has 4 tackles, George Hill just told me, in this game today. 2nd down and 10. And here's Orton. Complete. Right at that 1st down marker is Stubblefield, the sophomore from Washington State. And Jack, you know, the one thing, though, Gamble would like to have the threads that Deion's wearing these days, my friend.
Well, yeah, and he'd also told me that he never made a tackle in high school. He said back then it was all about making interceptions. Throughout his high school career, made 0 tackles. So when I asked him, well, where did you learn to tackle? He said, Jack, all the way back in Pee Wee ball. He said, I had a good coach, taught me how to wrap around and make tackles. He says, that's why I reached down to get the skill set.
1st down and 10. Jones in as running back. Well, speaking of tackling, Gary and I were very impressed here. And you folks in Columbus remember this play when Krenzel, now look across the screen against Penn State. Watch number 7. Here he comes at an angle, chasing Phillips. Look at him get in there and stick his nose in there and grab him. And, you know, he was trying to knock the ball free, trying to do everything. That's when we knew he was a defender and a ball player. Chambers and run down. Wilhelm makes a slashing stop from his middle linebacking spot for the Bucks.
Again, but watch Chris Gamble get up slowly again, playing a physical game. Very interesting game plan. Play a physical game against a highly skilled corner. Very interesting. You throw the ball outside. Wilhelm runs it down. It's the bubble screen. Wilhelm was so excellent at doing this. Great speed, but looking on the ground, number 7, forced to get in this football game to the wide side of the field. And Wilhelm saved them one basically.
Orton is 16 of 23 for 150 yards and spreading the ball around. Throwing well. Not that time. Intercepted at the 41-yard line. Wilhelm's second pick of the year.
His last one, remember, that was Washington State.
That was another day. What a pair of hands Wilhelm has got.
Great athlete and middle linebacker, is only going to get better. He was hurt last year with that ankle. He's reading the eyes. There he is. He's on the inside guy, playing zone, reads the eyes of Orton, says, I'm going to react to this thing, and the quarterback led the linebacker right to it. I've done it many times.
Now,
against guys like that.
Gary, Ohio State has rushed for only 37 yards here. They passed for 93. They have a golden opportunity to strike this time, but can they get it done? Claret is the running back. He gets the call. There's an alley. And he is just short of the 35-yard line. Ralph Turner, boy, these two safeties, Schweigert and Turner, Gary, they're amongst the best in the country.
Absolutely. Ralph Turner gets the least amount of publicity of all of them because Schweigert's so good. But Doss, Mickey for Ohio State, Schweigert, of course, is almost an All-American already as a junior. And Ralph Turner, a former quarterback who lost his job to Drew Brees as a freshman, said, I want to play defense, and I think he's got an ability now to go to the next level.
Second down and 4 for Krenzel and the Bucks. Claret to the 32-yard line, but short of the first down. Landon Johnson, one of their fine linebackers, coming up now on the Capital One halftime show. John will have scores and highlights, plus the defense of the BCS's top team. The Oklahoma Sooners defense enlightens us as to what makes them click.
Well, you remember last time it was 3rd and short. Ohio State ran that isolation power. Oh, and Schweigert hit it in the backfield. You wonder if they have something else cooked up like a play-action pass off of this.
Well, they load with a fullback. Show power eye. They bring it.
Schweigert again.
To the 30-yard line for the first down. Claret steps away to the outside. He steps away. What they have seen on film is that he steps away from the fullback, and they're slashing the safety in on him.
Well, I'll tell you, Schweigert could have made this play, but a nice play by Maurice Claret here to dodge this play, stick it up inside, and make the first down with skill there. That was number 13 doing it in spite of a good defense.
No time running down here in the first half.
Boy, turnovers. Isn't that every game we see that as being so huge? Well, I mean, it's obvious, but it just pops up every week.
There's a play fake by Krenzel, and it's a good one, but can he find an open man? Could not. And he's taken down at the 28-yard line by Gardner.
Coaches have told us that Krenzel does a great job of patience with the football. Now, they understand with that defense he doesn't have to do much with the ball, but if there's someone close to the defender, he just does not take a chance with it. Jim Tressel calling the plays with help from Jim Bowman, his offensive coordinator.
Coming down inside of a minute, eating up a lot of time here. I know they have Mike Nugent, who's been perfect this season, but this would be against a stiff breeze. Krenzel going to run out. He's got daylight. Claret ahead of him. He cuts inside the 15 for a first down, which stops the clock. There is Greg Krenzel. 15 yards on the gain, and now 38 seconds. They're definitely in field goal range. Obviously, they will try to score a touchdown. Tressel checking the clock, seeing how many timeouts. We'll take a break. One left for the Buckeyes. Now, Gary, let's talk strategy. 38 seconds, one timeout. How many times can they throw it into the end zone?
Well, with their one timeout, they really can dial any play they want, but they have at least, they can use all 3 plays and punt on 4th down, I believe.
They'll go for a field goal. They certainly wouldn't be punting down here, would they?
There it is.
He throws that one away.
Still plenty of time. Of course, kick. They wouldn't punt, but they do have an opportunity to run anything they want because of the timeout.
Gary obviously was referring to the fact that they might drop kick it across.
Well, whatever, you know.
I haven't seen that in a few centuries, but why not?
I think Krenzel took a nice pop on that scramble also. He's a little ginger getting back to the huddle. I would go to Jenkins. He's the big, tall receiver. We've seen him make so many big catches for this football team all year.
He
He's
goes
to
to
the
the
short
left,
side.
Gary.
Yeah, short side right here.
Gamble's a slot man inside of him now. And Childress is the third receiver. There's the draw with Claret to about the 12-yard line. That almost looked like they were positioning for a field goal here. But
Well, now they almost have to. You know, now you get into the danger on third down. Here's the problem. You do obviously have time to throw it on third down, but bad things can happen.
So their final timeout has just been used.
Let's go back to that Craig Krenzel scramble, and I thought he might have got nicked. Two things to look for. Claret right here is going to throw the block number 13. Watch him favor the arm. Kind of wings it with his right shoulder right there. And then Claret takes a hard hit right on his right hip.
Now they must throw it incomplete or touchdown. Out of timeouts, 19 seconds left. This is third down.
Oh, scramble.
And he's short of the first down. They got to hurry this unit on the field. This is fourth down. That was a very strange call. They're rushing. They've got 3 seconds. They've got to get it down for Nugent. They got to hurry. They signal good. And I'll tell you, Purdue's on the field screaming. They are screaming. It looked like time had run out. Joe Tiller is livid.
No way Krenzel did that on his. That was not a called play.
Gary, there is no way there was time left when he kicked the ball. Let's go down to Jack. Listen to Joe.
On a 15-yard line with his arm around his neck, and I don't know what you're doing. Coach, you're not at all happy with that decision. Absolutely not. The clock ran out. So far this game, how do you assess the way your team's playing?
We're playing fine. I don't like the way we turned the ball over twice. We're loose with the ball a couple of times, throwing it otherwise.
Thanks, Coach.
I have to agree with Coach Tiller, and the officials may change this.
They're reviewing it.
The officials are absolutely talking. No, they're starting the clock. They didn't change it.
Still want to talk about that instant replay, my friend? On a play just like that.
You could use it on the NBA.
That's exactly right.
At
just
the end of the half, at the end of the game, they should absolutely be allowed to come over and look at our clock. There was no question it had zeroed out.
You have to
Meanwhile, if I'm a Buckeye fan, I'm doing that too. You know, I'm standing up there. Now here, let's take a look at this is our line copy. This is what we saw. Now here is 1 second. Now, we're slowing it down. There it is. It's frozen. They didn't get it off.
Oh, no, they snapped that ball. They snapped that ball. Yes, they did. That ball was off. That ball was off.
It was, you know. Definitely good on that replay.
It was good.
Let's go back down now to Jack.
And Brent, I did talk to the officials as they went off, and it's the back judge responsibility to watch the clock. They watched it. The snap took place within a split second of the clock going to zero. It was great.
Well, there's no question. Watch the center here on the zeroing out.
Yeah, he snaps it. He snapped it.
There
Ball's
is
right
the ball.
there. Ball's right there.
Good one. So we are tied at 3. And a good replay solves the controversy. The field goal was good. 3-3 at the half. Coming up now, the Capital One halftime show with John Saunders after this message and a word from our ABC station.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports, Championship Television.
Buckeyes coach Jim Tressel, coach, in the locker room, you had to talk about focus again.
Oh, you really do. You have to talk about it in a game like this, the team that makes the least mistakes, especially in the special teams. This is a good football team we're playing. We knew that. We knew it was going to be a battle here in West Lafayette. That's what the Big Ten's all about.
Brent, it seems like all the time it's about road games and the second half for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's go back to the end of the half. This is regular speed. And I want you to know that the clock that we show on the screen is linked up with the official time. There's not two versions of that time. What ABC showed is linked up to the official time right here. It was good. And we are tied at 3. Tough second half.
Yes, and I think that's the key. Mistakes, little things. I talked about it in the open. The pressure is mounting.
And on a short kickoff, the Buckeyes will have it at the 41. And Gary, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, first half stats.
Well, the stats, I think Kyle Orton being able to control the ball with his passing game, Purdue 150 yards and 2 turnovers, just huge. But look at Ohio State on third down. 1 for 7, they've stopped this Purdue team, and that has been really the key for that Ohio State defense, is able to get Purdue off the field on third down.
Can they get the ball into Jenkins' hands? Can they get it into Gamble's hands? Claret, the leading rusher, but only 39 yards. First carry, Claret cuts away. Good looking run here, and he powers his way across midfield. Schweigert with the stop.
Got a delay here because the Purdue helmet on one of the defensive linemen stuck together with one of the offensive linemen for Ohio State. They can't even get it apart. There we go. Too many Buckeyes on that thing. Very interesting by Joe.
Well, let's here's what Schweigert had to say about Claret.
Always make sure that we know where he's at on the field, and just, as soon as we see that motion and stuff like that, as far as that guard pull, I mean, we got to go there. As far as defensive backfield, we can't get caught up too much in the run because they'll play action you and throw it deep. So I mean, we just have to make sure that we read the offensive line and just know what they're doing.
Second down and only a yard for the first down. And they come back with Ross. Ross for the first down at the 45-yard line.
Brent, very interesting. Joe Tiller took the strategy that I liked when I was playing. He gave the ball to Ohio State, and he gave them the wind in the third quarter. And I think they've always believed there's more plays in the fourth quarter than the third quarter, and he wants, if there's a long field goal, to have that wind in the fourth quarter favoring him.
18, 19 miles an hour. You can see the flag sometimes gusting up to 25, 28 miles an hour here. Been a constant factor. Claret back in the game. And he seems to be picking up his tempo a little bit, and now he's hurt again. Now he's going off.
There it is. And
there is that nerve problem, the stinger, taking him off to the side, bending down in obvious pain.
You know when that thing's going to get better, Brent, don't you?
Off season.
Yep. That is not going to get better this year. I mean, the last time that thing's going to hurt if you're a Buckeye fan is January 4th and 4th, the last day of the year. That thing is going to just be sprung all year.
So Lydell Ross. Still loose.
I think Ross got it back.
You're right.
Oh,
he
my.
dove back into the pile.
Yep.
It was loose, and in the first scrum, nobody could control it, and then watch Ross come back on it.
Boy, the helmet was right on the ball this time. Who put the helmet on the ball? It was the safety. Turner comes up and puts it on, and look at number 30. Gets the deflection right back to him. The little things.
Third down. Swarmed under at the 46. Landon Johnson. So Claret leaves after this carry into the middle. Gets smacked on that left shoulder again.
I think it was the safety with Schweigert coming up that put his helmet right on that left shoulder.
Andy Groom hangs it toward the end zone.
Take the ball.
So Purdue will have it at the 20. We're tied at a field goal apiece. Just a tremendous defensive performance by the Bucks over their last 4 games. And now they'll be looking at a new quarterback, number 11. This is Brandon Kirsch. He's a freshman from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. He's completed 60%, 5 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Now on first down, he's back in the shotgun, 5 wide, Tiller's wide open attack again, and Kirsch completes his first throw for about 4 yards to John Standiford.
Well, of course, Brandon Kirsch, as you mentioned, is more of a runner. Okay, we agree on that. But he must establish that he can throw the ball, or Ohio State will play the run. And that's why the Purdue coaching staff said, let's come out and throw the ball. I watched him in warm-ups. I didn't really feel it was a big factor in warm-ups. I think he's throwing the ball fine.
2nd and 7. 2 tight ends. Kirsch throws underneath for the first down. Joey Harris slips out, number 25, and the running back for 14 yards for Kirsch.
Kirsch, again, you saw that a little bit different than Kyle Orton. He threw that kind of off his back foot, and that's what he has. I think modern-day quarterbacks, whether you're in the NFL, college football, or high school football, must be able to throw off balance, and that's what Kirsch did right there.
And that broken bone in the throwing hand, result of a fracas at a fraternity party. First down and 10, a splint and tape. The bone that is broken is above the little finger, a metatarsal. And here is Kirsch on the run that Gary told you about. The Buckeyes are ready for it, and they jump him at the 41. Robert Reynolds, the junior from Bowling Green, Kentucky. And Jack, what's the situation with Clarett?
Well, don't count out Maurice Clarett right now. What happens with these stinger injuries is it takes the fielding away. It takes for a while to see the extent of it. You can see that the athletic training staff is working on Maurice's left arm as we speak. He's starting to get some feeling back. He has refused to take himself out of the game at this point.
2nd and 7 for Purdue. Kirsch going up behind his center. He's got to work on the clock, and he waited too long. That'll cost them 5 yards for delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
Well, let's check in with John Saunders and LSU. John?
Brent, they actually trailed Kentucky 1 point early in this game, but tied at 7 apiece. Marcus Randall looking for Devery Henderson. 30 yards, great catch, falling backwards into the end zone. And the defending SEC champs now have a 14-7 lead. Brent.
All right, John. So the SEC, of course, wide open, especially in the West. Alabama not eligible. So it is 2nd down. Underneath, this will not be a first down.
Pass complete to Chambers.
Chambers, the receiver, number 4. And we're at the top of the hour here in West Lafayette, Indiana. Maurice Clarett, the Buckeyes' talented freshman, out again. That repeated stinger injury in the left shoulder, which is a little bit of a nerve problem, and they're checking his flexibility. He wants to play again, as Jack told you. 3rd down and 4 here for Kirsch. The pads being adjusted on that far side where the Buckeyes are. Fires complete into Buckeye territory. The 46-yard line. Taylor Stubblefield.
Great read by Kirsch on that one. Michael Doss is going off with a stinger on this play, but Ohio State came with the zone blitz package that time. Will Allen, their nickelback, blitz to the wide side. Oh, look at Maurice Clarett on that one. He's got the shoulder pads off, and he's talking to Doss.
Not a good sign when the pads come off.
Great read by Kirsch, though, Brent, going inside and finding the open receiver on that zone.
Doss off the field. That is a big hole in this Buckeye defense. And Kirsch to the 39-yard line. Will Allen making the stop. Coming to the second half of our doubleheader here on ABC. Most of you will see Virginia take on Penn State, or Oklahoma against Texas A&M. Other regional action also right here on ABC, the class of college football.
Purdue has thrown the ball twice as much as it's run the ball today, 28-14. I think that's the mix they'd like to have against this team.
2nd down. Penalty flag is thrown on the toss to Harris. The linesman threw the penalty flag on the play.
Unforced error from Purdue that time. Fullback goes in motion and moves before the snap. This might be declined by Ohio State. Put it 3rd and medium.
Yeah, Tressel signaling across the way.
Is he? Yes. I'm not so sure on this one. 3rd and medium is a comfortable play for Purdue. They picked it up last time.
Penalties decline. 3rd down.
As they spread the field, they have so many receivers who just have to move a few yards to that 1st down marker.
And they never go at number 7, do they? They just don't throw the ball out there.
They have 5 wide for Kirsch. He looks to the short side, middle, and Chambers, I believe, is short of it.
Yep.
He's short of the 1st down as he slipped. Anthony Chambers, the junior receiver from Texas that time, but now maybe the Boilers will go here on 4th and short.
Looks like they're going to punt. They may fake, but Brent, that's where accuracy is so important on this short crossing game in this type of an offense, and what Drew Brees did so well. That ball was behind Chambers, and he had to fall down making the catch.
A lot of confidence in the Purdue defense. Slayton called on to punt. It is 4th and a long yard for the 1st down.
It's gone!
Into the breeze, and the fair catch at the 11 by Chris Gamble. He's everywhere, number 7. Now the Buckeyes will take over. They've had a problem moving the ball. Timeout. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Pontiac, fuel for the soul. Discover card, it pays to discover, and Chili's like no place else. There's the downtown courthouse here. Quarterback, did you ever visit that building?
Just to get my marriage license. That's the only time I've been there.
Never parking ticket?
I had some teammates that visited it. I'd say that.
1st down for the Bucks. Now Krenzel facing a pressure situation, hands it off now to Ross. Speaking of Krenzel, Jack asked tight end Ben Hartsock about the offense's confidence in Krenzel.
For him to be able to make a read and change from a whole different formation and put us in good situations to be successful. And when you're able to do that, guys have nothing but confidence in you, and it makes us feel that much more comfortable.
2nd down and a 6, as we heard from the tight end talking about the quarterback who is now so experienced. And here is Ross. Gary, you made a point when we were away. Let's talk about, do you think that Joe Tiller, when he decided quickly to punt, was aware that Claret is fighting that shoulder problem and had the pads on?
Absolutely. Why not? Best player, best offensive player on the other team has his shoulder pads off. With all due respect to Lydell Ross and Maurice Hall, they're not Maurice Claret. And he has to play the odds. He also is playing the wind. Remember, he's trying to escape this 3rd quarter so he can have the wind in the 4th quarter, and that was perfect wind for a pooch punt.
It is 3rd and 5. Krenzel turned just a touch high, and his tight end could not make the grab. And so, into the wind, Purdue forces the punt just as you talked about.
That's those little things. I mean, you know, everything now, the pressure mounts. Every alignment, every pass, every 1st down, every long snap. The national championship, the Rose Bowl is all hanging there. That's why you see these upsets.
Buckeye fans over in Iowa pulling for Purdue to win this game.
It's gone!
And Broom, I think I said the wind was at his back. Chambers driven out on the 44-yard line. So that's the Buckeyes' first 3 and out today. Timeout. It looks like it's going to be up to the Buckeye defense. And they've held Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota to 1 touchdown over the last 10 quarters. Now throw in 2 more quarters against Purdue, and that's 1 touchdown over the last 12 quarters. That's phenomenal. And it is 2nd down and 10, and the Buckeyes were bringing heat. The defense, you know, Gary, there are times when a defense has to say, we must win this game. We must do this for an unbeaten team, and I believe that the Buckeyes defense, they have to decide now that they must win this football game.
Well, they do, but they already have done that against Penn State. You could argue that they had to do it against Wisconsin. Sooner or later, you know, you're going to say, hey, how many times we're going to play with fire here before we get burnt?
2nd and 10. Doss back in the game, and Kirsch slips away, but Grant running him out of bounds on the far side. By Monday night now, one of the league's most intense rivalries. It's the Raiders and the Broncos at 9 Eastern. The 500th broadcast of Monday Night Football here on ABC.
I mean, you said we're going to see Gifford in the booth, you think?
I believe that
Giff and Meredith will be there.
I think they will certainly make an appearance.
All right.
That's a prediction. I know nothing. What do I know? 3rd down. Kirsch fires high and complete, but short of the 1st down.
Well, he got a great mark. He got a great spot. Standiford snapped that ball, a high throw, but he got a wonderful spot on the play.
Oh, my goodness, they gave him the 1st down.
They're making up for that field goal at the end of the half right there, maybe. Standiford in the slot. Watch him go to the line, just pass, comes back and catches it. Ugh. That was very, very close, but Standiford goes up and grabs it and gets it.
And the coaches are letting the line judge know about that side, and Purdue comes back with Harris, the running back now, and Harris here today has been their busiest ball carrier, but he's only rushed 9 times for 22 yards. That's how tough it is to move the ball on the ground against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, you know, in the game in 2000 we did here, when Drew Brees had that huge game, they only rushed for 31 yards in the whole game. So this is not untypical for a Purdue team when they play these upper-level echelon teams.
Harris' stop penalty flag thrown by the umpire, and that came at a spot where Purdue might be guilty of holding here, and they are. So let's check in on Iowa Northwestern. Let's go to John.
Brent, I think we can safely turn the lights out on Northwestern. This is Ed Hinkle, fields the punt, and then is barely touched. Breaks a couple of tackles with his toes and then toes it into the end zone. 58 yards. It's now 42-10 Iowa.
Ouch, if you're a Northwestern fan. And the Hawkeyes continue to roll. One of the more impressive teams in the nation. A chance, of course, to get to the Bowl should Ohio State do one of 2 things: start to stumble or advance all the way to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl and play for the national championship. And right now they are ranked 2nd, remember, but they are under fire. Here's Kirsch, got a lot of time, fires into a crowd, and it is incomplete. Incomplete at the 27-yard line that time, and you can hear the pads thumping on that pass to Chambers.
Ohio State has changed their strategy with Kirsch versus Orton. They have decided to play coverage against Kirsch, dropping 8 players, forcing the young freshman to read and throw in traffic. I think it's an excellent changeup by the Ohio State coaching staff. Different quarterback, different strategy on defense.
3rd and 13. Kirsch is getting hit. Can't get it off. Sacked at the 48-yard line by Darian Scott.
They rushed 3 people and got the sack. Rush 3, drop 8, get a sack, and that's the inexperience of that quarterback coming through. Watch this. They come out, they're going to drop, Doss is in the middle right here, reading the quarterback, nowhere to get the ball. Kirsch says, I don't want to make a big mistake.
The Buckeye defense doing it here again. Doss creeping up like he wants to come on this one. And block it. block the punt. Doss coming down hard from the left side, opens it up for...
Michael Jenkins is the guy that got it. Doss drew the block exactly. The Purdue player turned around and said, watch out. But watch, right here. Here's Doss to the outside. Inside goes Jenkins, untouched for the block. Ohio State needed a play. They got a play from Jenkins. Usually does it as a receiver. This time he did it on the block punt.
Things that unbeaten teams have to do when they're under fire on the road. Now can the offense finish with a short field? Here comes Ross. He slashes to the 35-yard line. Gary, let's check in with John on what's going on.
Brent, remember last week Rutgers put a scare into Miami? Well, Notre Dame getting scared against Navy. That's Aaron Polanco with his second touchdown run of the day. And the Naval Academy had taken the lead at 14-9, but the Irish have just scored. We'll update that when we get back. Brent.
Back here, we've got a second down after the block punt. The ball is on the 35-yard line. Second down and 8. Fumble the snap. Purdue jumped it, I believe. The snap was fumbled as Krenzel was pulling out.
Oh,
no,
God.
they got it back. And did Krenzel jump back on the loose ball?
That's the biggest play of the game so far for Krenzel. Able to fight your way through and get that ball back on an unforced error. Ball is fumbled at the snap. Usually you're not able to get these, but he this time fights his way through his own center, Stefanovic, and makes the play.
What a save for Krenzel and the Buckeyes. Now they need to make another one here, Gary.
Yes.
3rd and 9.
Purdue's defensive line wants to put pressure on Krenzel. Let's see if they come with the pressure.
They got there. There's the sack. Sean Phillips, who has played a tremendous game from New Jersey, the junior defensive end.
Comes off right side right here, goes right through the Buckeyes' best offensive pass blocker, Shane Oliva, and gets it. Sack, pressure. Phillips leads the team for the Boilers in sacks.
Broom. Dangerous on the run. Morales down inside the 10-yard line. He felt he had to catch it because the Gunners were down and about to make a stop. So let's go back and see how the Irish regained the lead.
Brent, didn't take long after the Polanco touchdown. The ensuing kickoff. Vontez Duck fields it at about the 10. And then the Naval Academy barely gets a hand on him. From here, it's just speed as he pulls away. The touchdown is good. They went for the 2-point conversion. It was no good, but the 92-yard kickoff return puts Notre Dame back on top.
And here Purdue deadlocked with unbeaten Ohio State. Coming out with a first down with Kirsch and the offense. And just content to run at that front wall is Joey Harris. Well, in 1954, the Bear took 115 football players to the desert of West Texas. Only a handful would ever play for it, though. The Junction Boys, the greatest sports story never told. Saturday, December 14th at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
You mentioned the success of that Ohio State defense, and they absolutely have to come through. 5 games this season, they have given up no points in the second half. They might have to make it 6.
Joey Harris shaken up leaves. Brandon Jones is in as the running back.
Well, I'm wondering about this. Right now, I think Joe Tiller wants to get it to the end of the third quarter so he can punt with the wind. That's the main strategy why he ran on 1st and 2nd down.
And he is there. Coming up. The Ohio State defense giving the unbeaten Buckeyes a chance. And we'll have the fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
on ABC Sports, Championship Television.
The stakes ever so high for Ohio State. One of 3 unbeaten, battling for a spot in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Miami with those 4 games. Oklahoma with 5 games. Ohio State here goes to Illinois next week. Then Michigan at home. For the Buckeyes, you would say right now, so close, and yet so far away. Tied at 3 as we begin the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 6 for Purdue and freshman quarterback Brandon Kirsch. High snap, brings it down, fires short of the first down. The Buckeyes were there. Allen, the nickel man, was all over it. Will Allen, the junior, on Stubblefield, preventing him from getting the first down.
Ohio State has really found a defense on 3rd and medium or 3rd and long. They're dropping 8, and they're forcing Kirsch to throw the ball behind the linebackers, and he's not willing to do it. This ball will be kicked far and will give Gamble an opportunity to return it.
If he gets it off. Remember, the last one was blocked. Doss lines up on the tight left side now. And now Childress pulls back out just in case. This one is off, and here comes Gamble. Gamble from the 37-yard line, crosses midfield. Now he darts back, gives up yardage, a mistake, ball's on the ground at the 45. They're going to whistle it down at, let's see.
Forward progress, yes.
They're going to whistle it down at the 45. Buckeye football. And all kinds of tension. And Joe says the ball was out. Was he right?
He called it forward progress. The field judge called it before the ball came out.
He did. At the 48-yard line. That ball was marked at the 48 before they threw him back to the 45.
You know, Brent, we haven't talked much about the Purdue linebackers. We talked about Ohio State linebackers, but these 3 guys for Purdue do not have to take a backseat to anyone. They might be as good a group as there is in the Big Ten.
Mr. Mean, Nico from Connecticut, has played a whale of a game. That's a loss of a yard, and that was Kudavini's, the junior from Plainville, Connecticut, making the stop on cue. Let's go to Jackaroot.
Well, Brent, don't be surprised if Maurice Clarett makes his return to this game momentarily. He has put his pads back on. They have put the protective padding back on his left arm. He is chomping at the bit to go back in. Of course, the coaching staff a little bit concerned because a stinger can recur at any time. And right now, they need 110% from their tailbacks.
Exactly. 2nd down now on the 11. So they line Ross up, and they're going to run him. And the defense read it perfectly. They smelled that play. Joe Odom, one of the linebackers that Gary spoke about, came in on the play.
Ohio State tried to run the ball to the wide side, and Purdue is coming from the field blitz. Odom and the safety. Watch them both come into the picture here. There's the safety. There's the linebacker. You're running a play into the teeth of the blitz, and that's why that play was busted at the line of scrimmage. Give Brock Spack credit. Defensive coordinator for Purdue, he dialed the right defensive call.
Sooner or later, Craig Krenzel would have to win a football game. Will this be the day? He now faces 3rd down. Can't find an open target. And the Buckeyes will punt it away.
Boy, 3rd and long. Ohio State goes with a play-action pass and only sends out 3 players. Really don't have anybody to throw the ball to. Gamble's coming to the top side of the screen, running the crossing route, but there are linebackers in front of him. He's got his hand up, but I guarantee if Krenzel throws that, you can see from behind and in front, he was bracketed.
Now it's Broom versus Chambers. Into the wind. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. Broom bending over. He can't believe that in the teeth of that wind that he drilled that one into the end zone. But Purdue will have it. Brandon Kirsch coming out from the 20. We're tied at a field goal apiece. Gary Danielson, let me get this straight. You would take out a quarterback who's 7 of 9 right now and go back to Orton?
I would. I really believe that Orton's got more experience to throw. I think that 8-man defense is causing Purdue too many problems. They can't run the ball enough. And I think a lot of those passes were short passes, not for first downs. I'd make the change. Or change back. Whatever.
Meanwhile, it is Kirsch under center. Play fake, roll to the right. Has great time. Wide open. Got him at the 43-yard line. Out of bounds at the 21 is Ray Williams, the freshman from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. His first reception of the day, and it's for 58 yards.
Two defenders for Ohio State bumped into each other on the play. Watch the play right here. Fox bumps into his own man in the corner of your field. Ray Williams wide open. Throws the ball a pop-up, and you got a linebacker trying to cover the deep third for Ohio State. A complete bust for Ohio State. Reminiscent of the touchdown pass Drew Brees threw to beat him last time they were here.
Brandon Jones, the running back for the Boilermakers, gets the call. Hole on the right side, and he pounds to the 17-yard line. Doss with the stuff. You talked about this 2 years ago. Seth Morales was the key. Ohio State had just gone ahead, and back came Brees.
Yes, throwing the ball after an interception, comes back and wins the game and puts Purdue into the Rose Bowl at a time when everybody thought, poor Drew, you just lost your chance. He brought him back.
And now it is 2nd down and 5, and it's the freshman, Brandon Kirsch.
Good call. You got to give it to Jim Chaney and Purdue, rolling out Kirsch and doing what he does best, throwing outside of the pocket.
Timeout is called. Kirsch wants to talk about it. He'll come over to Coach Tiller's sideline. We'll take a break. The ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the new H2 Hummer, like nothing else. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm, more evolved skincare. And Jack Daniel's Original Hard Cola, come as you are. Well, on the banks of the Wabash River, for those of you who have just joined us, we're tied at 3. The unbeaten Buckeyes reeling a bit here as freshman Brandon Kirsch has driven the Boilermakers inside the 20-yard line. Jones, daylight, still battling his way to the 13-yard line. Let's check in with John Saunders.
NC State facing Maryland. Bruce Perry's going to go 9 yards in this touchdown run to get the Terps back within a touchdown at 21-14. And trouble for the Irish. Aaron Polanco with the pitch to Eric Roberts. 2-point conversion no good. And Notre Dame just turned the ball over for the 2nd time.
A stunning game going on with the Naval Academy leading Notre Dame. Here's 3rd down and short. And Jones able to pound for it with Kenny Peterson hanging on.
First down on the 11-yard line. Purdue will be able to get a first down, but these are very tough yards now. You're going to have to get inside the 1-yard line to get a first down. By the way, on benching Kirsch, I did buy Enron stock too when it was real high. I still think it might come back. I'm holding.
First down. Jones deep. Kirsch managing the game up front. Going to use Jones, slashes daylight, spins. He has been the toughest running back today to bring down. Battles his way close to the 5-yard line. Jones came in as Harris limped off. Jack, what's up with Harris?
You will see Jones the rest of the day, gentlemen, because Joey Harris has been sidelined with an injury. He will not return.
And Brandon Jones, Jack, has been doing a good job here as he has carried 9 times. He's already their leading runner with 26 yards. So now they certainly are on field goal range. 9.5 minutes, 2nd down. Jones slashes. Tosses the 5-yard line to the 4.
Brandon Kirsch is running to the sideline right now. It looks like he's got a play to suggest. Do you take a play suggested from a freshman? Now you wonder, he's a running quarterback. He had a keeper against Michigan when he scored on a bootleg play. You know Ohio State is alerted to that. Let's see if he keeps it and tries to go wide with the quarterback.
at the Buckeye 4. Here is third down. Here it is. And Wilhelm is not fooled. Wilhelm throws him down at the 15-yard line. So certainly from here, Purdue will attempt the field goal.
Well, at least Tiller has got the wind at his back. He gambled in the third quarter, gave the Buckeyes the ball, but you know Ohio State and their coaching staff was ready for this play. They were there, and now Tiller's going to kick the field goal. He missed 3 against Wake Forest, all wide left.
27 yards.
So Loshevik. This a 27-yarder and a penalty flag.
Stop the play.
Purdue did something wrong, whether a lineman put his hand down and then stood up or not.
Prior to the snap, false start.
Yes.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains fourth down.
And when you're struggling a little bit with the kicking game, it's a very important 5 yards right now.
Remember, the ball was on the 3-yard line. Now it's on the 16-yard line.
Don't hit him!
Field goal attempt of 32 yards.
So you can watch from behind him. Loshevik with the 32-yard attempt.
It's gone!
Slides it through just inside the right upright.
Loshevik didn't want to hook it, and he almost pushed it.
Will they be spoiler makers again? We're 7:50 away from a decision in regulation. Timeout. The difference maker. And he's as excited as Martin Gramatica. He's got him up 6-3. Don't jump around too much. The heat's on the Buckeyes now. Gamble will take a knee. Krenzel Vince will bring it out on the 20-yard line. And here are the stakes. Ohio State jumping ahead of Miami. The Canes with a game later today against Tennessee. Oklahoma at Texas A&M. You'll see that one later on ABC. Washington State playing Oregon. North Carolina State now winning. So there's the situation, and Ohio State is under the gun.
And they're going to do it without Maurice Claret. He's very upset they didn't put him in the ball game. And remember, they're also without Chris Vance, who put on 138 yards last year against Purdue.
Maurice Hall gets his first shot at the tailback spot. He's the third tailback. Big pitch. Krenzel hit. Complete for 11 yards to the 31-yard line. Michael Jenkins, the junior from Tampa, as we check in with Jackaroo.
Brent, on Thursday afternoon, practice was extended by 10 minutes for a special meeting. The Ohio State Buckeyes gathered. Coach Jim Tressel talked about the scenario that is unfolding here at Ross-Ade Stadium. He said it may happen, and he put a little sign up in the locker room today that simply says, get focused.
Trying to do just that right now. On a first down after the completion by Krenzel. Middle's wide open. And Jenkins at the 43-yard line. The chains move again.
It has been Jenkins that has provided the big catches for Ohio State all year.
Let's take a look now at the last 3 possessions on our Pontiac performance drive summary. Unable to move the ball, but on this possession, they have quickly moved the chains twice.
They've done it through the air.
Purdue shows blitz. Krenzel with the side open on the run. Complete again to Childress. He reaches midfield. So Krenzel driving the Buckeyes through the air. He's now 11 of 17, having completed his last 3.
You got to give it to Craig Krenzel. I mean, you just have to. 11-1 as a starter. You know, we judge quarterbacks with W's, and he's produced W's. He's got great leadership ability. He's very calm. I said he's patient, and this is the time that Jim Tressel has said, Craig, we've been patient with you. You got to win us a ball game here. Let's see if he does.
Ball tripped up, keeps his balance, and somehow makes his way to the 49-yard line. That was a fine run after being hit by Joe Odom. And time permitting, of course, stay tuned for the Thrifty Cardinal postgame report. Scores and highlights from across the country.
Nico Kudavides got in there and stopped him up, and Joe Odom, those quick linebackers for Purdue, cleaned it up. 3rd and medium, and now Ohio State has to start thinking if it's 4-down territory with 5 minutes to go.
Down by a field goal. Play fake. Krenzel's going to throw forward. If he can get it off, fumble! So Joe, the fullback, is right there, along with Landon Johnson. Popped the ball loose, and Groom will trot out to punt it.
Landon Johnson, the linebacker, blitzes right up the top. Clark can't handle him, and Landon Johnson, who Purdue believes is the star of their defense, comes around and forces a play and forces Ohio State to punt.
Morales lets it roll. It'll be back on the 7-yard line. So will it be the Buckeye defense? They've been charged with saving the unbeaten season. Timeout. A freshman quarterback, number 11, and a redshirt freshman running back, 27. So Brandon Jones and Brandon Kirsch, 2 fellas named Brandon, will try to save the day. Here comes Jones, and the Buckeyes eat him up. Now, on the last drive, there were 2 very critical plays. Kirsch's long pass. It was 58 yards to Ray Williams. Then, the field goal by Lashovec of 32 yards. That's the difference in the game.
Ohio State's defense should not allow Purdue to make first downs running the ball. They're too good for that. They don't deserve the title. Purdue, I believe, Ohio State believes they have to throw the ball to win.
2nd down and 9. Tight formation. Come back with the run. Jones goes nowhere.
Right.
He was tripped up by Kenny Peterson, the senior from Canton, Ohio.
It's going to be very difficult for them to do it. Ohio State took a timeout.
Coming up now to the second half, our doubleheader. Mostly you'll see Virginia take on Penn State, or Oklahoma against Texas A&M on the regional action right here on ABC. The class of college football. A timeout has been taken now by the Bucks.
Here's the problem for Joe Taylor and Purdue. I don't think they trust the ball in that guy's hands or their quarterback's hands. He's just a freshman. Ohio State smells that, and that's why they're able to stop that run.
Facing a 3rd down. There are so many things at play here. Remember, the Buckeyes have blocked 1 punt. If they can stop Purdue right here, they will have the punter coming out of his own end zone. This is a huge play for an unbeaten season coming up.
At 3rd and 10, and for the year, Purdue is 3 for 18 going into this game on 3rd and long. Right now, the brain trust is telling Kirsch, I would like to have this first down, but don't make a mistake. The other side of this, think about Nugent. He might get an opportunity to tie this game, and he hasn't missed one in, 20 attempts? How long he's had? He's going to have to kick it, though, into the wind.
And, Gary, they also told him to work the hard count. Try to draw them off sides.
Jack LaRue just told me, listening in, that they were going to try to work the hard count and try.
4 minutes. 3rd down. Kirsch from his own end zone throws complete to the 10, but that's only a gain of about 3 yards, so Purdue is forced to punt.
It's another one of those short passes that they are giving Kirsch on 3rd and long, and now you got to like the position if you're Ohio State. You're in 4-down territory. If you have to, Otherwise, you can kick a field goal with a guy who hasn't missed one all year.
So Slayton back in the end zone.
They got Doss on the other side of the field on this one.
So here's Gamble's back to return.
Doss is on
the
this
Bucs
side.
are going to get great field position here. But can they move against the Purdue defense? Doss in the middle of the field. Now they're trying to come through again. Take it there. What a punt. Gamble from the 34. Approaches midfield. And he is down at the 46-yard line. Well, tomorrow don't miss round 2 of the ISU Grand Prix Series of figure skating. Crucial championship points on the line when the USA's Sasha Cohen and Ginny Kirk take to the ice. Skate Canada tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 3 Pacific, right here on ABC. So it's 3 minutes and 10 seconds to preserve an unbeaten season. Either to force overtime or to go ahead. Here it comes for Trussell and the Buckeyes against a defense that has yielded only 212 yards. Maurice Hall, the running back. Krenzel back in the gun. It's going to be airborne, but he can't get it off. Sacked at midfield as the pressure from the Boilermakers closes in. Ralph Turner with Jolovic.
That's that wide field rush that Purdue came with, bringing the safety and the linebacker and then playing zone defense behind it. Krenzel didn't see anybody, and he tucked it just like the game plan for Purdue said. And when Krenzel senses heat, he tucks the ball.
Second down and 14, and those precious seconds ticking down. Incomplete. Hartsock was open.
The second time he's missed Hartsock, coming across from his right to his left. He missed him high earlier, and that time he let him too much on the play.
2:26, and Trussell has to decide whether to risk punting the ball away in this situation. If they don't get the first down, they have to get the ball all the way to the 36-yard line.
He really missed Vance.
Motion gamble. Krenzel fires wide open. Got most of it back. Just within a yard of a first down is Ben Hartsock.
You almost have to go for it now.
Now you're so close, you've got to go.
Yes.
And you can run for it if you want to.
Problem is you don't have your running back that makes these type of first downs. He's standing behind you.
Pretty good in this situation. If they roll him, I have seen him come out for a huge first down up in Madison, Wisconsin. They're going to put him up underneath center, though. They're going to show the eye back behind the fullback here at fourth down. Could be up to the offensive line. No, Krenzel's going to throw for it. Got to get it off. They go for the ball game. Touchdown! Touchdown! Michael Jenkins on 4th and 1. Would you believe it? Craig Krenzel strikes with a minute and a half left. Holy Buckeye! A big-time play, as people said all year. At some time, Craig Krenzel would have to win a game. And on 4th and 1, he goes 37 yards.
Jenkins did it against Northwestern. He did it against Wisconsin. He did it against Penn State. He has come up with huge plays all year.
Now they will use a timeout.
But you're right, though, Brent. It is Krenzel's play. Krenzel, everyone's doubted him. Could he win it? I said earlier in the year, sooner or later, number 15 is going to have to win a game. And here Purdue blitzes, thinking it's got to be a run. And they throw to their big play receiver, and watch Jenkins calmly flip it to the official.
The way to celebrate, young man. This is the way to end a huge play. And take a look at the man that Gary Danielson just talked about. He's a junior from Tampa, Florida. He has just enough daylight on Rodgers to make the catch. And the Buckeyes save themselves an undefeated season with a marvelous pass-catch play. Michael Jenkins from Craig Krenzel. 37 yards. It will live forever in Buckeye lore if this team goes on to an unbeaten season and a possible berth in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Mike Nugent nails the extra point. A minute 36 is left. Now we want to watch this quarterback, Craig Krenzel.
Calm, measured, and as Jack Arute said, I believe the word focused. A guy who said it, calm, stay there. The coach exudes it. Jim Tressel exudes focus and confidence, and his team played with that confidence and focus. Remember, 4th and 1. Come on. You do not believe the Buckeyes are going to throw the ball deep on 4th and 1, and they steal it.
You know, the one thing that Gary just said, he's calm. Folks, I want you to listen to what Craig Krenzel said to Jack about experience and what it's taught him. Take a listen.
It's kind of like everyday business now, going out there on Saturday and taking care of business instead of, you know, having those pregame jitters and being excited because you're still kind of young in your career. So I think just adjusting to that, and with all that comes just the speed of the game slowing down.
There it was in slow motion. And look at those eyes with that expression saying, oh, baby, we were under the gun.
What is it with this
Krenzel has just written his name in Buckeye lore. But now, a minute and a half to go here, and it is 10-6.
Yes, and with that, and remember, Purdue's offense is built for this type of stuff. You would think Ohio State will drop 8 until Kirsch proves that he can throw the ball downfield.
Nugent drives it against the wind. Take a knee, but he almost came out. It'll be on the 20-yard line. 1:36 left. 2 timeouts for Purdue. And I see number 18, Kyle Orton, strapping up his helmet. Let's get a quick update on Maryland and come right back, John.
Brent, great one in the ACC, NC State and Maryland. Scott McBrien fools just about everyone here on the fake handoff and then goes untouched for the touchdown that ties the game at 21 apiece in this ACC matchup. Brent.
From the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10.
Kyle Orton's in.
Fires to the 34-yard line. Wilhelm just throws Standiford to the ground. Clock stops on the 1st down.
And Ohio State was in this spot 2 years ago with the lead. Remember that interception by Drew Brees? They went with the 3-man rush, and on 1st down, Brees took it on a touchdown, a deep touchdown. Let's see if it happens again.
Lorton stands in that pocket. Can't find an open man, so he has to throw it away, and it'll be 2nd down and 10, 1:17.
So difficult of a position for Kyle Orton. Has to stand around and watch, and now all of a sudden the ball game is back in his hands.
Miami, Oklahoma fans were holding their breath, hoping that Purdue could hang on and there would be only 2 unbeatens going into the 3:30 games today. Right now the Buckeyes strike in the closing minutes. 2nd down and 10. Orton stands tall, fires in underneath. Won't get it done. Short of the 1st down, the clock will continue to run.
Purdue has 2 timeouts. As you see, 3rd down, they still have 4th down. They have to go for it, obviously.
We move inside of a minute. Orton can't find the open man. Gonna go deep for the home run. Gamble's got it at the 10-yard line. Chris Gamble, the 2-way player, slashes across, and the Buckeyes are going to head to Champaign, Illinois, unbeaten next week.
Unbelievable. When I said ball player, he's a ball player. Saw that ball, timed it, didn't knock this one down. He knew he'd go up there just like Wisconsin and seal the game for Ohio State. Deep zone, dropping 8. Orton just wants the first down on this one, Brent. You know that he wants to throw it short, but Ohio State drops all across. Nobody open, nobody open. Here's Campbell way down here, and he just plays ball, just a ball player. Goes out of his zone, reads the ball, time up, and make the play. What a wonderful football player.
Purdue still has a pair of timeouts left. They'll do everything now to extend and stop the clock. Desperate to get the ball back. Krenzel dashes to the 15-yard line. Let's check in on our man Gamble here on Performance Track Yard.
Yeah, I don't know what he had in tackles. Don't really care, you know. I mean, this guy was on the field. He's made everybody better. And when he was called on to win the game again, how about both of the guys? Krenzel comes through. Jenkins comes through. Purdue blitz. Let's give it to the offensive line for picking up that blitz. And Jenkins comes through. To win a championship, your playmakers have to make plays in the fourth quarter. And they have come and done it. What is it with this place? Every time I come here, it's one of these finishes, I'll tell you. Playing a deep zone third to the outside of the field, reads the ball in the air. Donnie Nicky would have overrun it. This ball would have been complete, and Gamble comes in and saves it.
Seconds. Ball in his arms, cradling it. The last timeout has been used by Purdue with 34 seconds to go. We go back and take a look. This is Wilhelm's sack, which forced just a field goal. Then Jenkins for the pass from Krenzel, which put the Buckeyes ahead. Back came Gamble, snatching the pass.
How about Ohio State runs two quarterback sneaks for a first down against Purdue? Obviously, Purdue's disheartened. Two quarterback sneaks. Game over. Ohio State lives for another weekend, and Florett healthy enough to play again this year. We don't even know.
Now we will be in Champaign next week for the Illinois-Ohio State game. We'll be on the air at 3:30 Eastern time. Jack Arute closing in over there on Coach Tressel. I can see him on the far side, and Tressel breathing a sigh of relief, knowing how narrow and how close this one was. They'll put the vote now in the hands of the writers and the broadcasters. All the Buckeyes have to do is take a knee, and let me just say, start going wild, Columbus. Start your party now, folks, because this one's long gone. The Buckeyes stay unbeaten, and they do it the hard way. Tressel trotting across the field, looking for his friend, Coach Tiller. There they are. Tiller obviously disheartened, but offers congratulations, and we go to Jack Arute. Jack.
All right, Coach, on Thursday, you called your team together after practice, and you talked about a scenario here at Ross-Ade Stadium about keeping focus.
Well, that's right. You know, it's a tough place to play. Purdue's a good football team. You know, now they've had 6 losses by 7 points or less. They're a tough football team. They play hard. Our kids played hard. Our defense kept fighting. Awful proud of our guys and our coaches.
When it's all said and done, Coach, and you look back at this game, do you think that it will be a turning point for the character of this team?
Well, we've got good character, and there's been a lot of good turning points, and I think we continue to grow, and our kids have great character, and they never stop playing.
What about this character here, number 16, the quarterback, Craig Krenzel? Congratulations. Who made the call on that 4th down?
Coach has sent that play in, and you know, I think they were getting up trying to stop the run and play cover 0 man-to-man across the board, and they had no one deep. You know, they brought a blitz, and our offensive line picked it up great, gave me time to hang in there. Mike ran a good route, made a great catch, you know.
All right, let's take a look at that play, shall we? Here you go. Take me through it, Craig.
You know, they were just playing man-to-man. You can see everybody sitting in the box, and right there, Michael Jenkins got behind his guy and made a great catch for the touchdown.
When did you know it was going to get caught, though?
As soon as I threw it.
Congratulations.
As soon as I threw that, when I saw Mike had his man beat.
Brent?
All right, Jack. Thank you very much. There's our Chevrolet players of the game. Greg Krenzel and Mr. Mean, who played his heart out in middle linebacker for Purdue today. And very, very tough loss again for the Boilermakers this year. And Nico had 9 tackles plus an interception as he walks off the field. And here's Craig Krenzel as the Buckeyes live to play as an unbeaten for another day. And it doesn't get any better than this. Folks, this was 4th down. Here's your unbeaten season right here. It comes right down to this. There's that tight man coverage. There is just a foot of daylight. Krenzel puts it there. Caught. Touchdown. The Buckeyes go to Champaign. And so do Gary and I. We'll follow the saga of the unbeaten Buckeyes. So long, everybody.
Brent, as you said, Illinois is next. It's followed by Michigan. Ohio State has 4 wins now by a combined 19 points. They remain unbeaten. Good one in the ACC.